All right, welcome back to the channel. So, we took a week-long vacation to the beach recently, and I thought it'd be cool to show you guys how I trained and ate while we were down there. Now, just let me be clear here real quick. You absolutely do not have to train while you're on vacation. Taking a full week off is totally fine. You're not going to lose muscle from 1 week off. What matters is that you get right back to your normal routine when you get home. But for me personally, I actually really enjoy working out on vacation. It keeps me feeling good, keeps me moving, and honestly doesn't take much time at all. So before we left, I simply just packed a few small pieces of gear, which were my pull-up grips that I attached to any doorway and my weighted vest, and that's it. I probably could have done without even bringing the weighted vest and just the pull-up grips, honestly, but I had room, and obviously we weren't flying, so I could bring the vest. I like to keep things as simple as possible, obviously. No need to find a gym or have a bunch of equipment. I just set up in the Airbnb and got a few short workouts in throughout the week. And as you can see here on the screen, I was able to do pretty much all my same usual movements that I do at my house. So in the beginning, you saw me doing my pull-ups for my back and biceps, obviously. And now you can see me doing push-ups using the same pull-up grips as little parallettes, basically, so that I could get a deeper range of motion for my pushing musculature. And of course, I did some squat variations as well. I usually threw on the weighted vest for some added resistance, especially when it came to doing some of the lower body movements that I did, like the squats. And sometimes I'd actually even use the vest as a weight for my accessory or isolation work, if you will. So things like bicep curls, some overhead tricep extensions, and lateral raises with the vest. And actually, come to find out, using my vest for lateral raises gave my lateral delts a huge stimulus. I was actually sore for a couple of days after doing those. Obviously, it's kind of like a novelty stimulus with the vest moving back and forth as I'm doing the movement. So that's probably why I ended up getting more sore than usual for those. But that was actually a nice variation, in my opinion. And then, as you can see here, I was able to find a pretty solid stool out by the pool and do some pistol squats. Now, most of my workouts this week only took probably 20 or 30 minutes, give or take. Usually I did them before lunch or dinner. I didn't follow a super strict plan. I just focused on getting a full body workout and some good movement in. And on top of that, we were obviously walking a ton between walking on the beach, exploring, and just being active in general. I felt great all week. So the big takeaway here to me is that fitness doesn't have to stop when you travel. If you want to take the week off, that's completely fine. You won't lose progress. But if you're someone who feels better when you move, you can totally make it work anywhere with just your body weight and a few small tools like the vest and the pull-up grips. For me, it's definitely not about perfection. It's about staying consistent and keeping that routine going, even in a more relaxed way, if you will. So coming up here on the screen, you're going to see me doing those lateral raises that I was talking about earlier with my weighted vest. I mostly did these at the end of my workouts after I did the compound movements. And a couple times I used the entire weighted vest, which I think is about 25 pounds. But other times I was able to actually take one of the weighted plates out of the vest just to make it a little bit lighter and a little bit more manageable. But like I said earlier, I think the novelty of using the vest and the way that it swayed back and forth and having to stabilize the vest made my lateral delt super sore. And then again, you can see me doing some overhead extensions with the vest here as well, just to give the triceps a slightly more stimulus throughout the week for the long head specifically, obviously. As far as like the type of training I did, I still did what I normally do at home. I took most, if not all, my sets to failure or as close to failure as I could get. And as far as how many sets I was doing, I normally did around 2 to 4 sets for the compound movements, and then I would do 1 or 2 sets for the isolation movements, all depending again on how busy that certain day was. And just a quick note about alcohol consumption. You can see in the background there some beer containers or boxes. So I am not a huge alcohol drinker, but I did have some drinks on a couple of the days that I was out there. Definitely don't worry about alcohol consumption. absolutely derailing you or your progress, especially if it's just in moderation, you're going to be completely fine. So, when it's something that you don't do every day or every week or even every month, doing it a few days on vacation is not going to affect you too much. So, as you can see here, I also did some isolation exercises for my biceps with that weighted vest. Again, I could have gone without bringing this vest, but it's so small and compact, and since we were driving, it was easy to throw in my duffel bag and allowed me for a little bit more variation. And again, I enjoy training, so doing stuff like this, as opposed to just the compounds, was able to, keep me interested in my training throughout the week and having fun. All right, so now let's get into what I ate while I was on vacation for the week because even while traveling, I still like to keep things pretty dang simple. So when we got to the Airbnb, we went straight to the grocery store and stocked up on our usual staples: oats, fruits, beans, tofu, rice, pasta, veggies, hummus, all the basics that we normally eat at home. So breakfast was the same as it is at home for me: oats with fruits and walnuts. And then lunch, as you can see here, was usually just whole wheat penne pasta for me. I'd make a big batch that lasted a few days and then simply just top it with some hummus, sometimes throw some black beans on top of there, and then some greens on the side. And then for dinner, again, as you can see, I kept it pretty easy. I would use microwavable minute rice, and then throw some tofu, some beans, and some frozen veggies in there and just mix it all together, put some ketchup and some mustard on it. Super quick and super filling. And of course, dessert, right? So I got some rice cakes and put some peanut butter and jelly on there, maybe a banana, with some soy milk. And then other nights, I went for some of the Kashi Go Lean cereal. Got some peanut butter flavored one and even had a chocolate flavored cereal as well. So super, super delicious and simple. Also, we did some bakery items as well. You'll see coming up that we stopped at a fully vegan bakery down there on vacation, and it was delicious. We got a ton of different items: cookies, chocolate croissants, quiches, and all sorts of stuff. Cinnamon rolls, absolutely delicious. So we definitely indulged when we got down there, and then on the way back home, we stopped and got some more as well. So yeah, that's how I trained and ate during our beach week. No gym, no huge deviation of food choices, just keeping things consistent and simple. If you take one thing away from this video, it's that you can stay active and eat well pretty much anywhere. You just have to make it fit your life. So thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.